We're back for another edition of Les Kevin, More Tech, UTECIT.com, right, Les?
You got it.
So, for our listeners, I think we're up to 14 now. But for all 14 of them, potentially, the ones that are awake, that aren't hungover, from the March Madness party. But we were in line for lunch, right?
Right.
And we're embarrassed to say this, but we were in line at White Castle at the drive-thru. And we hear this obnoxious honking, just laying on the horn. And we get out. We thought maybe this lady was in trouble, right?
Right, yeah. We
walk back to the window and ask her if there's a problem. She says, "Get out of my way. I need my White Castles." And who else was it? But Sarah Miller.
That's my intro?
That's your intro.
Oh, my gosh. I did not sign up to that intro. I don't think. Although true, it could have been me.
Sarah, so how were they? Were they good?
Sad, but yes. I love them. Love them.
Yeah.
Love them.
There's a perfect. His other intro, he was going to sing "Destination Unknown." So
I don't even know what that is.
That's a pretty big song from his era.
It is.
Oh, that's probably why I don't know it.
We are blessed today to have Sarah Miller from Destination Ann Arbor.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is our pleasure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into this White Castle thing. I wasn't aware of this. We're sharing some commonality here.
So, you want more of it?
Sarah's been a longtime partner of UTEC.
Yeah.
Long time.
And she is a big fan of White Castle. And I don't know how that came up, but I've always appreciated Sarah even more. She went up in my book because she's a big fan of White Castle.
Yeah, I think it's just the ease of digestion of those things.
Do they digest?
Yeah.
I just thought they found their way out quick.
I don't know. I guess it probably started in my youth, but then it was the best thing ever for a hangover cure. So.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But she's one of the few people I know that eat them at noon, not at
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
No, I do both.
Do both.
Yeah, do both. Yeah, it's a treat. The question is, do you get them with everything?
I do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the only way.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no other way.
No other way.
You're an imposter otherwise.
Yeah, and there's no modification needed.
No. Yeah. It's how many do you eat? Can I ask that?
So at this juncture in my life, I'm down to 4.
Ooh, down to 4. Okay. What was your record?
You know what? Depending if like the 1 to 2 a.m. type thing.
Yeah.
That's an 8, 10.
I was expecting more than that.
Yeah, I've never been the guy that knocks down a dozen, but
Kevin.
Oh boy. I love the crave case, and then you just eat them forever. So I don't keep. What kind of time frame are we talking? Yeah, you know what I mean. I'll go start to finish.
One sitting.
Well, we like the doubles, so I'd probably say 3 or 4.
Your doubles? I feel like that's against all rules too.
That's a modification.
Yeah, right. I don't feel that that's accepted.
All right. Well, I'll have to go back to eating singles.
Now here's the true variable. And I know we're a little off topic here, but do you get onion chips or not?
Oh, yes. You have to have onion peels and red pop.
The only reason I don't is so I have more room for the sliders themselves.
So what's your number?
I'm with you on the 4.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I was probably too drunk to count, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
No, it's probably all about 4. I mean, really, there gets to be a point where you can't do it anymore.
You can't.
It's just, it stops.
Oh.
Well, see, there's a method. You got to take off the top bun. You got to take 1 packet of ketchup, squirt it on there, put the onion peel on there, and then just shoot those things down.
You just have to appreciate the originality of what they are.
Well, you can, but it's always more fun with ketchup and another onion peel on there.
Yeah, and then a couple extra layers of burger. So, I mean,
there you go.
I got
that double. Yeah. I mean, it's each his own.
I guess some people do live on the wild side.
Yeah, I'm a traditionalist.
Custom made.
Yeah.
3
to 4.
The only way
the
to
number.
Go.
So our prestigious leader of Destination Ann Arbor is a White Castle freak. And I'm sure we didn't bring you out here to talk about that. We had other plans for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't know we were going to get off to the right foot here.
It's too close to lunchtime.
Oh, a good point. Maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, you have had the task of replacing the legend of Mary Kerr. and I've admired thankfully the board saw through it and named you from interim to the permanent director of Destination Ann Arbor, correct?
That is correct.
And now you're the fearless leader, and you're doing a bang-up job, aren't you?
I hope so.
Oh, we know so. We hear it out there. So tell us what that transition's been like.
Yeah, gosh, I mean, being with the organization as long as I had, I started there right out of college. 20 now going on 22 years with the organization. It's hard. I was in a meeting not too long ago with Ari from Zingerman's, and he said something that was interesting. Growing up like I did, I was in a manufacturing before coming to Destination Ann Arbor, but when I was growing up in quote unquote man's world of business, we'll say, there was a lot of you keep your emotions separate, especially being a female. You get a lot of that. Women are very emotional creatures by nature, so you keep the emotion out of it. And Ari said, and I don't think I can swear on the podcast.
That's your podcast. Well, yeah, you can do whatever you want.
He said that's bullshit.
Yeah,
you can't have emotion without it. I mean, it's who we are as humans, right? Yeah. And it really stuck with me, that comment. And I think it's because I bring so much of myself to this role and have for so many years that it's personal. It's personal. There's a passion there.
Right.
And when you work with someone as long as I had with Mary, and, she was so well respected. And, when you're a little hot-nosed little kid, you always think you have the answers to everything and you can always do things better. And, you always have those thoughts when you're young. And then, reality sets in a little bit about what the real situation is. And sometimes that's a challenge, right? When you're working for someone who's doing that as well as she did, it's hard to say, how can I do better than that? And
right.
I'm a hugely competitive person by nature. Yeah. It's anyone who knows me knows that I like games and I will try to beat you at anything, even if I'm really not good at it. I will try anyway. So I have that drive in me anyway to always see what I can do to take it to the next level.
Oh, fantastic.
Now, does Ari know you eat White Castles and not at the Roadhouse or the deli?
I eat there too. There's times for everything. There's always room for more and time for just the right times. But so it's that's a hard thing to do.
I think though his point is well taken. In other words, any book you've read or person you've heard speak about business, whatever, they talk about the necessity to be passionate.
Yeah,
and that's an emotion.
It is, and you can't. You need it, right? I mean, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, you're gonna see that. You're gonna know,
right? Yeah.
And the drive is what I think makes an organization great. It makes yourself great,
right?
You have to have it.
Man, we just heard a title of her first book. Have you authored a book yet?
No, should I?
Yep, it's titled The Drive.
I feel like that's out there somewhere.
Is it? Damn.
It's a great idea, though.
Yeah. Well, the under part, passion. What?
Passion drives.
We'll go back and listen to the recording.
Yeah, passion drives success. I don't know. So that's a real challenge. So I come into this role, more internally facing than externally facing, and trying to learn those ropes and re-engage. And coming out of COVID was a huge challenge. Was very devastating to the hospitality community as a whole. Real challenge coming out of that when you've lost a lot of staff, and the recovery was a little bit stronger than anyone, I think, really anticipated. A little slower in the north part of the country, but, caught up pretty quickly towards the end of last year. And trying to manage that, it has been fun. But, it is. So I guess it's interesting. This is another thing. It's funny what sticks with you,
right.
When you're out and about and what people say to you and how that affects you and your thought process. And during Mary's retirement portion and me getting acquainted with some other folks, I can't tell you how many times, you've got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
You got big shoes to fill. And everyone means that as a compliment to Mary, right?
Right.
or to the leader who was in that position before you. But I don't know if anyone really thinks about how that's received by the person filling the shoes, so to speak.
So tell us, how was it received?
It was it was hard, right? Because you're thinking to yourself, well, there's some self-doubt then that happens, right? Because you're sitting there thinking to myself, well, gosh, can I fill these big shoes?
Yeah.
You're right. I don't know. And then the next part of you thinks, I want to bring my own shoes.
Yeah.
My shoes I'm going to bring my own big shoes to fill. Yeah. Because I want to leave my mark. And I know, and anyone that knows me versus Mary, our styles are very different. That's not, good or bad. It's just different.
Which is valuable. If you had a whole organization of people who are the same.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So it's different. I like what I bring.
Yeah. I can imagine the competitive nature.
You see it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got that twinkle in my eye.
Yeah, like, right now I can see it, right.
Yeah.
So
we're leg wrestling here in a few.
We'll go out shoot some hoops in the back. Right?
Yeah.
No, but that I think would be an advantage because it's almost a challenge to you.
Oh, absolutely.
You have big shoes to fill. Well, yeah, you're damn right. Guess what?
I'm going to bring my own shoes.
Right. Yeah. That's
right.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I think, to interrupt, I think that's what, from afar, we've worked with you before on projects and tasks, and I was really hoping you were getting a job. We were calling and we were doing emails to people that we thought might be of influence there, just to say, because there is that determination, and everybody that's worked with you sees it. You've always thought it as your thing, the personal, how you take it personal, and there's a group there, and just how you're going to attack this. I think you're well positioned to do well in this thing. Thanks.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, I think I've said it a million times, but I think we have the coolest. I work for the coolest job. I have the coolest job. I can't think of a job that I can't really think of a better job.
Have you even thought about selling copiers? I mean, you're trying to compare your role to selling copiers, or?
Well, actually, I'd probably be pretty good at that too, but just because of my competitive nature.
Exactly, right.
Whatever I can do to get that
her
sales.
Up, sign her up.
It's a lot cooler.
All right, now we're cheering for you to fail. We got your backup plan. Bring your shoes over here, would you?
Yeah, exactly. Now I lost my thought.
You were just you were going down the path of the challenge, how you're feeling, the competitive nature.
Oh.
Well, let's turn it back around to this, because you are different than Mary.
Yeah.
And you have a staff that's been there, a lot of tenure at Destination Ann Arbor, a great organization. Mm-hmm. And so what are the challenges you face putting your stamp on this and turning that ship and getting it going in the direction you want to, keeping that on, and having them receive your style? What's that like?
Gosh, you have to ask them. I guess, and this is where my thought, it always comes back. It just takes 5 minutes or so, I'm getting older.
It's a refrigerator moment.
Yeah. But it's about being positive. We're doing good things. We're doing good things. We have we have impactful, what we do is impactful to many people. And how do you not get behind that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you not get behind that?
So you've gone through the transition, the tenured staff, Kevin's talking about. What do you have coming up on the horizon, or in the immediate?
So much work to do.
Yeah.
So much work to do. I have to remind myself that I have to bring it back a little bit, because I want to go at light speed.
Right. Yeah.
But it takes time.
Yeah, you got the rest of the world to worry about.
Yeah, it takes some time. To your point about the staff, getting them to buy into a different culture takes time. And breeding the ideas that I want. We have, as your point, a very talented team. So, I think that I want to unleash their creativity more than they can even imagine.
Wow.
And that's the start of my challenge, right? To create this culture where they're the experts. They live and breathe this every day. So what can we do that furthers our mission? Mm-hmm. And what can we do that can have impact that, maybe isn't hugely huge cost, for example, being a nonprofit. But what can we do that will make a difference, and get creative with it? I think that's back to the point of that emotion, kind of trying to contain that emotion. Sometimes I think we try to contain our ideas as well, and what's going to be accepted or you think of all the things and sometimes that gets so overwhelming that you don't try anything new because it's not safe.
Paralysis by analysis.
And, sometimes I'm trying to kind of get the team to think past that. What can we do outside of that? It's a calculated risk opportunity.
Yeah. What I hear you saying is you're crafting a larger vision.
Absolutely.
And the larger vision is going to create a vacuum and basically, pull people to different levels.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
what's your calculated risk out of that? I mean, I think I have one idea that or what I'm hearing, and in my mind, the calculated risk is that some people might not be up for it. They might be in a comfort zone.
You're right, and that's where my challenge comes in, right? And hopefully, I'm good at what I do to motivate you to get out of that place. But I'm not going to do that in a way that I hope not to do that in a way that makes you uncomfortable. Hopefully I'm with you hand in hand so that we're doing it together. You feel good about that change. Nobody likes change. Change is hard.
Well, I think we all want it until it happens, and then we bitch about it.
That could happen too, yeah.
Daggone it.
I think everybody wants change, but nobody wants to change.
It's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's a lot of work. It is. It's a lot of work. But I think it can be fun work too.
It really can.
And I think that, you just have to, that's my motivation. So I have to be the motivator to make you want to do that.
That's awesome.
And you said it earlier, and I liked it because I've seen it and lived it myself. But you always thought you had these ideas, well, I do it this way or I do it. Now you get to it. Now you start saying, oh, boy.
Yeah. Yep.
And I kind of understand what they were thinking before or how they had to do it. And maybe it wasn't as fast as we thought it should be, and you see.
Yeah, exactly. And, sometimes I have some people come to me and say, well, why can't we do this right now? We can't do it right now. We're getting there. We're getting there. I've been saying that a lot. We're getting there. And we are. We're getting there. So that, probably one of the main focuses. And then reconnecting in person.
Right. Oh, post-COVID especially.
Post-COVID. There was a lot of disconnection in the hospitality world because of people just trying to keep the doors open.
Right. Wow.
I mean, people working crazy amounts of hours, the turnover, the uncertainty of so many things. So hopefully being a catalyst to the hospitality community to come back together in person, hopefully, and just make those reconnections that we kind of lost over COVID, and getting to know a lot of new folks and a lot of new faces in this world, and introducing ourselves and letting people know what we can do for them.
The hospitality industry is as an individual, I experience it, kind of but when you look at the whole industry, it's massive.
I have to look up my statistics. I believe, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the industry in Washtenaw County, I think, is the 4th generator of jobs.
Really?
In the county.
And then you take a look at the hit.
Yeah.
That's...
And actually it's still down to 2019. I think it's about 10% in jobs to 2019. The only other larger group that was hit harder than hospitality right now is manufacturing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, I'd even be surprised with that. I would just think that manufacturing, there's still, there's shortages and there'd be catch up. But with hospitality, man, just everybody was wiped out, Everybody was wiped out on that. On that end of the spectrum.
And not only that, but the fear, right? That COVID, I mean, you're talking about frontline people, servers and hostesses, bartenders, and you're asking them for a long time to kind of put yourselves in danger, so to speak, with this exposure to as many people as possible that are coming through your doors every single day. That's a lot to ask.
Well, Sean from Golden Limo, when he was, on our podcast, he talked about what a challenge that was for him and me also,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot to that. And we got to remind ourselves, too, I think as patrons, we still got to remind ourselves there's business owners out there, there's employees that, are trying to get back up to speed, and you got to have some patience when you go out now, right? Sometimes you're the one. Well, it's taking a little bit longer just because, you know what I mean? It's in the back of the restaurant. It's the sous chef. It's the food prep. It's supply chain issues. You know, your favorite White Castle burger was not there today because of Cisco didn't deliver or something like that. Oh. So
there's been a few places I've gone to where it was a hamburger place and they had pretty much French fries and that was it. Right. And you're going, well, it was a hamburger place. But no, it's true. And that's hard, right? I mean, and it's all facets of the hospitality community. I mean, when's the last I have kids, so we do McDonald's on occasion. And when's the last time you went to McDonald's? And so it was a fast food experience.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
It's not a 5-minute fast food experience anymore. You kind of have to count on at least 15, 20 minutes, and you're happy if it's 5.
And now you got to go up to a big iPad and try to figure that thing out.
That's why we go to Chick-fil-A. They're dialed in. Those guys they're a logistics company. They're not a food company.
It's true.
I mean, it is. It's interesting to see the evolution.
So what are some of the things that you're doing personally to go out and reconnect?
Trying to attend as many events as I can, and trying to get our team to do the same. I can't be everywhere all at once, as much as I want to be.
Made it to March Madness, though.
I did. The most important part of the year, right? I mean,
everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that. Speaking of that, what's my team? I didn't get a chance to look at the big board.
We'll look on the bracket. We'll check it when we're done here.
Yeah, I want to know if I'm still in it.
Yeah, we gave you number 1 seed. We gave you Purdue.
No, you gave Mike Malek Purdue. I noticed. I did notice. We wondered who he had to bribe for that, but then it turns out it didn't really matter. So.
Yeah, no, I saw a couple people were excited with the drawing, and they got Christine did it also. However, it was assigned her, and her helpers did a drawing, but. I saw some people at the March Madness cheering, hey, I got it. I got these guys, or I got these guys. And then watching them on Saturday and Sunday was pretty funny watching the teams get bounced. Yep.
This is a safe topic for us because neither one of our teams are in it.
Yes, it is.
Normally, that wouldn't be this safe.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, yes, trying to get out and meet as many people as possible. Reconnect, I just want to talk to anybody I can, and really just listen and see how we can help. I don't want to take the Bank of Ann Arbor's headline, but it is something that we're trying to do. Is help.
Right.
Help. What can we do to help you?
Well, Ann Arbor is such an incredible community, and growing up, it was always a college town, but now it truly is. They're a destination, right?
Oh, hugely.
Yeah. Always
has been. I mean, it's funny what draws you to this area. I mean, and it's not just Ann Arbor, it's the whole county. Especially that's actually been a little bit of an interesting shift as well from COVID. Kind of this, work from home situation that a lot of people have has allowed some of our smaller surrounding destinations to be able to blossom. And a lot of new cool things are going in, and some of what people maybe would refer to as a sleepy town isn't so sleepy anymore.
There was just an article about that in the paper about Milan and how
is.
they are just off the charts, busy, and the storefronts are filled because the restaurants are open down there and there's more stuff coming in.
Have you been over there lately?
Not lately.
Oh, it's really cool. I was just over there. Cutest bakery in the whole wide world. So good. Owl, so cute. Oh, I mean, it feels like home. And that's what I think that's kind of unique about Washtenaw County is all these destinations have these hearts. Everybody has a heart, and it just leads to that more comment about that passion, that experience. Everybody wants to feel that. You want to feel like you're coming home. And in all of those destinations, you do. Everyone's friendly. You've got, the cutest retail shops possible, great restaurants, watering holes that, are just so fun and welcoming.
Tell you, just an interesting tidbit on that. We just hired a new kid, and he came from the west side of the state, and he just cannot believe how friendly and open and easygoing everybody in our office and in the surrounding areas, compared to the west side. And I was like, wow, I always thought the west side, but I never really spent much time there, and he's from there. But that's a true reaction from somebody coming into the community.
It is, and that's what it's changing. You know, people want an experience. They want to feel something when they go somewhere, and that's what they remember. You know, and it's the selfies, and what can we do with that? And you know, what can we document and put all over whatever our favorite choice of social media is, and I want to do that. I want to create that experience. But you know, the great part about it is I don't have to create it; it's already here.
Yeah. Right.
I just have to tell you about it.
Got to promote.
I got to tell you what it is. That's all. It's already here. I get to tell you how to do it.
I've always admired that Destination Ann Arbor has always been so data-driven, and they have the data to make the decisions. I mean, more so than, a lot of organizations, and I think it would surprise you. But you have all these competing interests. You've got all these different restaurants. You've got all these different hotels, and you're able to bring all of them together and say, this is what we're doing for the area that's the best. And it's not just Ann Arbor, as you alluded to earlier. It's the outlying areas. And you guys just bring them all together and support them. I mean, people said, well, I should be part of that group. Why should I support it? I mean, I think you guys have demonstrated how you bring everybody together. And then through COVID, you guys were one of the few organizations that really raised your hands and said, how can we help? And we're out front doing things to help people through that.
And it's truly because if one area succeeds, we all succeed. They're all together. They're all intertwined. And it's funny that you bring up data, as I am a accountant by nature and a huge data nerd. It's going to the next level. We're going to take it to the next level.
Okay.
We already started. It's a little scary. Some of the data we're getting.
Are you spying on us?
It's all anonymous data. It's all anonymous data except yours. I've got that down. I know exactly where you are. No, yes, it's all anonymous, but it'll give a lot of insight to when people are coming in. Where are they going when they come? You know, we had some data around that, but now we'll really have the data, and it'll really help some of the smaller festivals and events that maybe didn't have the sophistication. Tools to have that tracking, we'll be able to give them that too. Wow. So it'll help all of us really understand who's coming, who's truly coming, and how can we get the word out even more to that group. And it may surprise us. It really will.
Especially now that you're aware of the Less Kevin, More Tech podcast.
That's right.
You see the giantness of what's happening in media now.
It is. So what did you say? 14 people that are listening?
That's on a good day.
Oh, okay.
We're working on it.
Well, there's 14 people signed in. I think 4 of them are sleeping, so probably 10 are actively listening.
I don't think they're sleeping because I'm talking, right?
No, not at all.
No, we're the hidden gem. We're trying to keep it hidden too.
Yeah, so far succeeding.
Well, you know how it is.
Yeah.
What else do we want to tell everybody about Destination Ann Arbor? Is there anything we got? Is it the Moonwalk coming up here?
Full moon, yeah. On the Ann Arbor District Library, you can make your own luminary on April 2nd, I believe it is. Information is on our website, annarbor.org. And you can see how you can make your own luminary. Come down to Carytown and participate. It's a really fun event. At night, too, family friendly. A lot of fun for everybody. So those types of things are coming up. Gosh, so many things coming up.
That's exciting that, all these film festivals started at some point somewhere, right?
Yeah. And Michigan Theater, huge partner of that. And the theater, I think, is coming up on their 100-year celebration coming up. So, it's a gem in our, such a smaller, mid-size Midwestern town. But, some of the things we have to offer are truly, they're world class. I don't know if this had already happened, but in January we had the plastic bag store. It was a partnership with, UMS put it on, but it was only, and I'm going to forget the exact cities, but New York, and I think it was California and Ann Arbor.
Right. Yeah.
And it was a interactive, pretty much art exhibit that told you about plastics and how it affects the environment. And how cool is that?
Yeah, right.
Like huge cities going to huge places in Ann Arbor.
Right.
It's really amazing. We have a lot of, and that's why I guess the other part of the passion, there's huge people, UMS, Michigan Theater, all these groups that have the same passion and do amazing work, and that are really putting Ann Arbor on the map, culturally and through arts and different programs, that's really cool. Yeah. Really cool.
Matt, one day maybe people will say, hey, what the hell's New York and California doing on this case?
Yeah, wouldn't we like that?
Don't start us. So I'm going to let Les ask the question that he loves asking at the end of our show. But I'm going to ask you one before we get there.
Oh, okay.
So when you bring your own shoes here,
yeah.
I forgot to check. Are they these sneakers or these like 6-inch pumps with red soles on the bottom?
I'm not that classy, Kevin.
There's her title. I'm not that classy.
I'm not that classy. Yeah, exactly.
She's a sassy lassie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you won't catch me in heels. No, you know why? Because I got to move fast.
That's right.
I got a lot to do.
Damn, she's got a lot of good drops. That's a good one.
Yeah, I got.
Told you, man.
Do.
She's competitive. She's not going to let us outwit her.
Right.
Yep.
Nice.
So yeah, probably some nice, comfortable sneakers.
She's sitting back there going, "I got to outwit these two guys." That's an easy one.
Yeah, I'll still give my best.
Yeah, give me some tough competition.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite bourbon?
Hold on. You got to frame it right. So when you walk into Connor O'Neill's.
Yeah, I walk in there often.
What do you ask Tom for? Or if you're at the Roadhouse, before you get the Bloody Marys there, what do you reach for? What kind of bourbon?
Wow. Well, as I told you, I've had some bad experiences in my earlier years with bourbon, so I'm getting back into it. Mm-hmm. So really, I think I have two favorites right now, Buffalo Trace, which you can't seem to find anywhere. I don't know why, and Basil Hayden's.
Really?
And I did notice that was on the table.
Well, for the video, it was a full bottle until she got here.
Why do you think this was so interesting?
Well, cheers.
Let's
Thank
have
you.
a toast.
Cheers.
You know what? Cheers to Destination Ann Arbor, and cheers to you, Sarah, for taking it to the next level.
Thank you.
So let's have a good one.
We do that with our partners.
There we go.